I think the infrastructure sector will continue as the primary focus area, one of the primary focus areas in the budget. We have seen that the national infrastructure pipeline, which was announced of 111 lakh crores, is likely to have a significant multiplier effect on the GDP. But the key question which arises is, what more can be done to attract private investment? Because at least 30 to 40% of that corpus would need to be mobilized from private sources, with the rest of it coming from the central government and the state governments. Now, already a lot has been done in terms of announcing the national monetization pipeline and associated measures to attract private investment. But if we look at additional measures for this year's budget, some of the areas which come to my mind are further streamlining of provisions to attract foreign pension funds and sovereign wealth funds into the infrastructure sector. Because today, if we look at some of the key sections like Section 23 FE of the Income Tax Act, there is scope for further broadening of the investor base by allowing indirect investments through SPVs or subsidiaries of such entities, registered pension funds and sovereign wealth funds, bringing them in and extending the exemptions under the section to them as well. Then, of course, the government can look at additional categories of investors to provide the same exemptions, like real estate investment trusts, private equity funds, which are focused on infrastructure projects, including smart cities and affordable housing projects. REITs would typically look at these projects, so those exemptions can be made available to them. And secondly, I think the other provision which comes to my mind is introducing the concept of group taxation or consolidated tax filings, because special purpose vehicles are one of the most common ways of for a particular infrastructure promoter to invest in multiple projects. There could be projects in different stages of maturity. A project which still hasn't generated cash flows may have losses to report, whereas a certain other project which is fairly mature and has started generating toll revenues may report profits. But if the concept of group taxation, which enables set-off of one against the other, is introduced, it would provide a lot of motivation to the promoter to increase his investments to the infrastructure sector. So these are the couple of areas which come to my mind when we look at attracting additional investments from the private sector in the infrastructure sector.